No, I think, well, I should say, first of all, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. It's after Easter, and I have to say, in starting this book, that it's much easier to review a book that you liked than one that caused you a lot of grief. And I would say that the current book I'm reviewing, I've been awake nights thinking about how I would review this, giving full justice to reviews that I read after I read the book. So I started reading the book without knowing who the author was and without having any clue other than what is said on the book sleeve itself. This is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So the only by Stuart Turton. He's a Brit, and the blurb on here says Evelyn Hardcastle will die every day until Aidan Bishop can identify her killer and break the cycle. But every time the day begins, Aidan wakes up in a body of a different host. Some of his hosts are more helpful than others. The setup to this movie is like an old estate with many rooms and with a pond and with many buildings and grounds, and they go hunting, and so we're set back in what, 1800s. But the whole estate, like a rundown, decrepit, I guess it's been 40 years since anyone's really lived there, like an old, it's been compared in reviews I read afterwards to Downton Abbey. And an old rundown Downton Abbey. You have your servants, you have rooms for everyone, and the hosts are throwing a party for about 50 guests. Everyone who knew their son who was drowned 40 years ago in the lake on the property. If I don't get my numbers right, that's because I'm mathematically challenged. I think it was 40 years ago. Anyway, I don't take notes, so I'm not going to have everything exactly precise. But the general idea is all these people are here, and Aidan Bishop is here to, if he can find out, if he can discover who is going to kill the daughter of the people who own the property and have thrown the party, if he's going to discover how she dies, why she dies, who kills her, before the time that she dies, then everyone will be released from this torture. And he wakes up, as I said, every day in a different body, so you never know if he's going to be awakening in someone who can't move because they're crippled, or who is 90 years old, or who is just different people every day, different challenges that he has to deal with. For example, controlling their emotions, getting motivated, not being able to walk when they're having that kind of problem. Some of them have been attacked on the grounds. I'll tell you what, this I read in about probably 75 to 100 pages, maybe not that much, and I said, this is so schizophrenic. Is this describing a schizophrenic mind? I mean, waking up with someone else's thoughts and viewpoint in somebody else's body, because you can't help but think like they do when you're having to deal with things the way that they deal with them, but still maintaining who your personality, the initial host, not host, the initial protagonist personality is, and trying to solve a murder. This is just absolutely, you have every manner of, they don't call them goblins and ghosts here or witches here, but they have, the butler is, you've got the butler, you've got the guy that wears the mask that has the big nose, and he's the ringleader of it all, we figure, and he's calling the shots, and people are dying right and left, and one guy's hanging upside down in a room. It's just a mansion of horrors. One of the reviewers said it was like being, these where people get locked in a room and they have to get the key, figure it out, have to figure everything out in order to get out. Well, he's trying in a matter of 8 days, before 8 days are up, he's trying to figure out who, and stop the murder, who is going to kill Evelyn Hardcastle. This was so schizophrenic. One of the reviewers said, "Oh, it's like an acid trip." Well, bad acid trip. Well, I tell you, it's not. If I'd have realized that going into, I should have read the reviews first, I guess. No, then I can't give you my real. This is the way I really feel about it. I feel that this book was very depressing, very down, very much a struggle, every page of it. And it's not a short book, and it's not small, it's not large print, it's small print. So it's quite a journey, and you'll have to work for it to get to the end. The end gives you relief, but Jiminy Christmas, it is a long way, a long travel to the end of this book. So my 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle came out in 2018 even, and I hadn't heard of it, but I'm not up on my books that much. But if you choose to read it, and if you know me, I'd like to hear what you think about it. So thanks for tuning in. I haven't picked a book for next week. I'm thinking long and hard. I'm almost going to run back to my warm cozies and say, okay, I've had it. We'll see. We'll see what we review next week. Talk to you later. Bye.